Hi, I'm Kalani. I've been dealing with seizures since I was 15, and 6 years later, they're still a part of my life. The medication helps most days, but stress is my biggest trigger, and nothing stresses me out more than family dinners with my mother. You're still taking those pills? I told you it's all in your head. Diana rolled her eyes as I pulled out my medication at the dinner table. My mother has always treated my medical condition like some attention-seeking scheme I cooked up. They're prescribed by my neurologist, Diana. I need them. I've started calling her by her first name instead of Mom lately. Feels more accurate somehow. Well, don't make a show of it. Ray and Judith are here to celebrate, not watch your pharmacy routine. My new Uncle Ray smiled sympathetically, while Aunt Judith pretended to be fascinated by her salad. They'd only been married 3 months, and already Ray was witnessing the real Diana. How's the job search going, Kalani? Aunt Judith asked, desperately changing the subject. Before I could answer, Diana jumped in. She claims she can't work full-time because of her condition. Convenient, right? I felt the familiar tingling in my fingers, the warning sign, not now. The room started to shimmer around the edges. I actually have an interview at the graphic design studio next. My words slurred, and I knew it was happening. I gripped the table edge as the seizure took hold. Through the fog, I heard laughter. Diana's laughter. Another dramatic stunt, right on cue when we're talking about jobs. Her voice cut through my haze. She's been pulling this since high school whenever she doesn't want to answer for herself. Diana, I don't think she's faking. Uncle Ray's voice sounded concerned. Trust me, I know my daughter. Kalani, that's enough now. When I came back to awareness, I was on the floor. Aunt Judith stood frozen, clutching her napkin. Uncle Ray was kneeling beside me, looking genuinely worried. Should we call an ambulance? He asked. Absolutely not, Diana snapped. She's fine. Aren't you, Kalani? Show's over. I fumbled for my phone and texted Marco. 911 at Diana's. Need rescue. 20 minutes later, his beat-up Honda pulled into the driveway. By then, dinner had awkwardly resumed, with me sitting shaky and silent. Your friend is here, Diana said. Leaving before dessert? How rude. Marco didn't wait for an invitation, walking straight into the dining room. Hey, you okay? His eyes scanned my face, actually looking for signs of distress. She's perfectly fine, Diana said. Just her usual dramatics. Marco helped me up. I got you. Let's go. In his car, I finally broke down. She laughed, Marco. She fucking laughed while I was seizing. That's messed up. You know that's messed up, right? I nodded, something hardening inside me. I'm done. I'm absolutely done letting her convince everyone I'm making this up. What are you gonna do? I don't know yet, but she's not getting away with this anymore. 3 days after the dinner disaster, I sat in Dr. Chen's office, my leg bouncing nervously against the exam table. These episodes are increasing in frequency, Kalani. I'm concerned about the stress triggers you're describing. Dr. Chen studied my latest EEG results with a frown. My mother thinks I'm faking everything. She laughed during my last seizure. Dr. Chen's head snapped up. That's completely unacceptable. Medical neglect is serious, especially given your documented condition. Can you put that in writing? Like, officially? I can certainly document my medical assessment and recommendations. Actually, she pulled out her phone. I'm going to record a video statement summarizing your diagnosis and treatment plan. This provides clear evidence of your condition. I left the appointment with a digital folder full of medical records and Dr. Chen's video statement. I texted Marco immediately. Got the goods. Dr. Chen came through big time. We met at the coffee shop near my apartment and I spread the evidence across the table. This is solid, Marco said, scrolling through the files on my laptop. But we need more than just proof of your condition. We need to document how Diana responds to it. I've already started recording our conversations. I pulled out my phone. Listen to this from yesterday. Diana's voice filled the space between us. Stop using these so-called seizures as an excuse for everything. If you wanted attention, you could just get a job like everyone else instead of this medical theater. Ice cold, Marco whispered. What's the end game here? What do you want? I want her to face consequences. Real ones. Not just private ones. Family gathering this weekend for Aunt Judith's birthday would be perfect timing. Everyone who enables her will be there. Later that week, I visited Aunt Judith at her boutique, pretending I needed help picking out a gift for Diana. That's thoughtful of you, considering how tense things have been, Aunt Judith said, showing me some scarves. Things have always been tense. Remember when I was hospitalized sophomore year, and she told the nurses I was just trying to get out of finals? Aunt Judith shifted uncomfortably. Your mother just worries about you building resilience. Is that what you call it when she hid my medication for a week because she said I was getting too dependent on it? She did what? Aunt Judith stopped arranging merchandise. When was this? Last year. I had 3 seizures that week. Kalani, I'm sure she wouldn't intentionally put you at risk. I pulled out my phone and played the recording of Diana laughing during my seizure. Aunt Judith's face drained of color. I remember this, but I didn't realize how it sounded. This is who she is when doctors aren't watching. This is who she's always been. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything now. Just pay attention at your birthday dinner. Back at Marco's apartment, we finalized our plan for the weekend. Dr. Chen agreed to come as my guest, I said, checking my list. I've got the recordings, the medical documentation, and Uncle Ray already suspects something's off. What about Vanessa? She's Diana's biggest defender. That's why I saved the text messages where Diana talks trash about Vanessa's divorce. 2 birds, 1 stone. You're scary sometimes, you know that? I learned from the best. Diana taught me exactly how to destroy someone. Difference is, I have truth on my side. Aunt Judith's birthday dinner was in full swing when Marco and I arrived with Dr. Chen. Diana did a double take when she saw my neurologist. Who's your friend? Diana asked with that fake smile she reserves for strangers. This is Dr. Chen, my neurologist. Diana's smile froze. How interesting that you'd bring your doctor to a family function. We've become friends. Plus, she makes me feel safe. I emphasized the last word while hitting record on my phone. Uncle Ray approached us. Good to see you again, Kalani. Feeling better since last week? She's always feeling better after she gets the attention she wants, Diana muttered loud enough for everyone to hear. Dr. Chen's eyebrows shot up. Did I say something wrong, doctor? Diana asked innocently. Don't tell me you actually believe all her dramatic episodes. I have extensive medical documentation of Kalani's condition, Dr. Chen replied coolly. Of course you do. She's very convincing. Uncle Ray looked uncomfortable. Diana, maybe now's not the time. No, I want to hear this, Aunt Judith interrupted, approaching our group. Diana, are you suggesting Kalani's doctor is being fooled? Doctors only know what patients tell them, Diana said, waving her hand dismissively. She's been playing this game since high school. I felt the familiar tingling in my fingers. The stress trigger was starting. Marco, I whispered, gripping his arm. It's happening, he announced to the room. Kalani's having a seizure. Dr. Chen. As the seizure took over, I was vaguely aware of being lowered to the floor. Dr. Chen's voice giving directions. Diana saying something about perfect timing and theatrical. When I came to, I was lying on Aunt Judith's couch. Dr. Chen was checking my vitals while the family stood in a semicircle. This was a classic temporal lobe seizure, Dr. Chen announced to the room. Exactly as documented in her medical records. Or a very convincing performance, Diana said, though her voice lacked conviction. I recorded your commentary during her seizure, Marco said, holding up his phone, along with your claim that she's faking. Vanessa, Diana's friend, stepped forward. I've watched Diana dismiss Kalani's condition for years, but this is beyond the pale. You too, Vanessa. Diana looked betrayed. I have text messages, I said weakly from the couch, where you told Vanessa I was exaggerating for attention, and also what you really thought about her divorce. Vanessa's eyes widened. What? Aunt Judith stepped between us. I've seen enough. You laughed when your daughter had a seizure. You called her a liar to her doctor's face. You don't understand? I understand perfectly, Uncle Ray cut in. I've only been in this family a few months, and even I can see what's happening. This is absurd. You're all ganging up on me because of one of Kalani's episodes. It's not just one episode, I said, sitting up slowly. It's years of you dismissing my medical condition, hiding my medication, telling people I'm faking. The room fell silent as Marco played the recording of Diana laughing during my seizure at the previous dinner. Diana's face crumpled as she realized the room had turned against her. I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry if it came across wrong. I was just worried about you becoming dependent on your diagnosis. The insincerity in her voice was apparent to everyone. I stared at Diana as her fake apology hung in the air. Everyone waited for my response. That's not an apology. That's damage control. I stood up slowly, steadied by Marco. You're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry you got caught. That's not fair, Kalani. I'm trying here. Trying? Where was this trying when you hid my medication? Or when you told my college professors I was exaggerating my condition for deadline extensions? Dr. Chen stepped forward. As a medical professional, I'm obligated to report suspected cases of medical neglect. What I've witnessed tonight qualifies. Diana's face paled. You can't be serious. Dead serious, I replied. I've already filed for a restraining order. These recordings are evidence. 2 weeks later, Aunt Judith called to tell me Uncle Ray had moved out. He said he couldn't stay with someone who'd treat their own daughter that way. The divorce papers are already filed. How's she taking it? Not well, especially since the hospital board put her on administrative leave. I'd almost forgotten Diana worked in hospital administration. Apparently, when word got out about her dismissing a documented neurological condition, her colleagues had questions about her fitness for patient advocacy. Her friend Teresa from the country club uninvited her from the charity gala too, Aunt Judith continued. Once people heard the recordings. I never wanted to destroy her life, I said, surprising myself by meaning it. I just wanted her to stop destroying mine. A month after Aunt Judith's birthday dinner, I moved into my own apartment. Marco helped me unpack while Dr. Chen stopped by with a housewarming gift, a seizure response dog named Daisy. She's trained to alert before episodes and get help if needed, Dr. Chen explained as the golden retriever nuzzled my hand. With the new medication protocol in Daisy, I've gone 3 weeks without an episode, I told them. Longest stretch ever. Aunt Judith visited regularly, bringing home-cooked meals and genuine support. Uncle Ray even checked in occasionally, making good on his promise to stay connected despite the divorce. 6 months later, I received a letter from Diana. I almost threw it away unopened. You should read it, Marco suggested. Doesn't mean you have to respond. The letter was filled with excuses thinly disguised as explanations. How her own mother had dismissed her problems. How she thought she was teaching me resilience. How she'd lost everything, her job, her husband, her social standing, and wanted reconciliation. I folded the letter and tucked it away in a drawer. That weekend, I bumped into Vanessa at the farmer's market. Diana's selling the house, she said awkwardly. No one returns her calls anymore. That's not my problem. She asks about you, if you're okay. Tell her I'm thriving. Tell her my dramatic stunts are under control with proper medical care. Tell her I finally have people in my life who believe me. I walked away with Daisy at my side, no longer haunted by Diana's laughter during my moments of vulnerability. The justice wasn't in her punishment, but in my freedom, something she could never take from me again. At what point does standing up for yourself become revenge? And is revenge ever justified when someone has medically neglected you for years? Would you have exposed Diana publicly like Kalani did, or handled things differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If Kalani's story resonated with you, hit that like button to help others find it too. New stories like this one are posted regularly, so subscribe to make sure you don't miss out. Thanks for watching.